When I wake up, no makeup, half naked, I feel like I'm the Pardon my language, but hang-ups do not define the kid. No, I'm not flawless, I'm scarred up and I'm fine with it. My body are the laundry list of all of life's unkindnesses, but I still sip tea and chant om and live free, cause hardships and heartbreaks turn to rap epiphanies. And mom told me stay woke, cause all gold ain't glistening. Choose your words wisely, cause the all-knowing's listening. But no worries, I'm Gucci, my thighs are little juicy, my dialogue little awkward, my idols still move me. My life is a movie, like Raheem and Mookie. I'm just trying to do the right thing, hope that it improves me. My bamboos are costume to me, you'll be soon accustomed to me. This tomorrow, I got royal hemoglobin coursing through me, and my strength is now inhuman. I get that straight from my Omi, signed in silver mouth the grill of yours and truly.
You better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you are.
I ain't get here overnight. I was in that mirror like 4 or 5 times a week on my Malibis, reciting affirmations like holy rites, and I still don't know everything. But I guess confessions from 8x11s and studio sessions seem like it's only right. And trust me, this my therapy. Your couch, finna murk all these Murphy types, funny styling me. Shut your mouth, touch me, I'm slaughtering crews, squads, goons, teams. The queen is coming to rule your region, coming for all of your plus your house. I ain't always have it in me. No tolerance for pretending. I was 14 years old.
You're listening to Power Plug Radio. Home of your throwback jams.
You gotta put it down. Put it down. Gotta put it down, babe. Put it down.
What?
Yo, like we're on air. Yeah, we're on.
Oh my God, I didn't know. All I heard was the kid going to check tea and. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well, are we really on?
We are on.
Okay. I really didn't know.
Yes. Yo, the shenanigans is always real.
It always starts from the beginning.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Bits of Tea. Okay, where you know the shenanigans is always real. Before we dive into tonight's conversation, as always, there's 4 ways to listen. Mm-hmm. Make sure you guys download the app Power Plug Radio in Apple Store or Google Play.
Please.
Okay. Make sure you visit the website powerplugradio.com.
Yes.
Make sure you subscribe and share to the YouTube channel at Power Plug Radio. Okay. And if ever you wanted to join in on the conversation, you could do so at 727-686-0512. What's good? I got it, man. Thoughts down. I got it. It's easy.
What's good, Queen Coney?
Hi.
And as always, right, you want to give your gratitude.
Always. Thank you to Power Plug Radio for just having us on this platform. You guys are amazing. Staff is great. Love y'all.
Yes.
Period.
Okay, y'all. Okay, so we're going to get into some vibe talk at the beginning of this conversation, because there's some things that took place last week that we actually caught a glimpse of, and it was just like so interesting to talk about. And you know I'm talking about the Will Smith and Chris Rock.
But before we get into that, because you know how I do this, right? So let's get a shout out. Like, if y'all ever watch the show and y'all see that the scene changes, okay, it's the same place, but it's dope right here. I like this. Okay, I like where we're at right now. I'm just saying that. Jade? Yeah, I just wanted to say that.
You feeling real extra today.
I really am. That's y'all. Hence the bucket hat and the dashiki. That is extra. Trying to get on your level. I'm trying to get on the Cancerian levels.
Trying to get. You know what? We up here though.
Yes.
We kind of
up
the
there. Extraness.
Okay, the background definitely looks awesome. I love that. Okay.
Oh, we're watching it on the phone.
Yeah, but no, let's get into it, y'all. Y'all, Jade. When I say y'all, I mean
y'all. There's other people in the studio, so that's what it is.
Y'all too, though. Okay, yeah. I'm good. Let's get into it. So, okay,
first of all, let's give a shout out to Shaylina Holmes. Yeah, our buddy Shaylina Holmes for inviting us out to an awesome comedy show called What That Mouth Do.
Okay, yes. Okay, so before we get into the conversation at hand, Jade is full of shout outs right now, and we want to give honor to that. So shout out to Shaylina Holmes. Hey girl, she's gonna die when she sees this.
Yes.
And also shout out to the creator of What That Mouth Do. Do you remember her name? I think her name was Christy.
Yes.
Or Christina. Please forgive me if I'm saying your name wrong. But
yes, she
is just so amazing, y'all. She hosts this comedy show with a lineup that literally, I mean, like hands down, every single last one of them was funny.
Single comedian was awesome.
And so, yes.
Yeah, it was great. And so it's funny because Queen Coney has no idea where I'm going with it. The reason why I'm starting there is because the joke that was there presented about the Will Smith and also Chris Rock debate was in reference or the bitch slap was in reference to his joke.
Right. Okay. So
that's why we were going there. That's why I was going to the big mouth show. It don't matter.
It don't matter. You can go over there first.
Yep. Thank you, Jen. I'm interrupting. It don't matter. I appreciate you.
Okay, because our producer is fine, y'all. Y'all just got a glimpse.
Yo. But so yeah.
Okay, so the joke. You gonna open it up?
Yeah, we were at What That Mouth Do, and Coney and I had been talking and discussing about this phenomenon that happened and went on.
Girl, not a phenomenon.
So it was a phenomenon.
You were so perfect.
We were debating on whether or not this show was it scripted. It looked fake to me, right? It looked fake to me, so that's what I'm bringing to the table. So the joke, the guy at the that was presenting the joke was like, "What do y'all think? The people were sitting up on the board making decisions whether or not Will Smith should smack Chris Rock, blah blah blah." And I'm over in the stands like, yes. It's just that theatrical. Why can we not believe that Hollywood plays Hollywood?
Right. And y'all, so in the beginning, okay, so when we first came across the damn video that, Will Smith smacking Chris, it was just like, she immediately was like a skeptic. She was like, oh, nah, this is fake. This is staged, blah, 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 right? That's always been her stance. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, well, yeah, it could be staged, but it could be real too, because okay, girl, it could be y'all, come on, like, really? Tell me you're a mom without telling me you're a mom. Where did you pull that out from?
The Adidas bag.
So yeah, I was feeling like, yes, it could be staged, but I was also feeling like it could be real, just because Will and Jada, I feel like they be putting themselves out on Front Street all the time. Like, they literally let us know the tea when it comes to their family dynamics and how they move. Right. And so I felt like, you know what? This could really be like a real thing. But then we started to do a little bit more research, just looking into it more and having more conversations. And when I think about it, are you ready to go into what we were going to talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm ready to go in. Yeah. Okay. I'm ready to go in.
When I
and
think
bump
about
y'all who y'all think this is just an opinion. It don't mean that it's real. Okay, so bump y'all if y'all think it's real. This is just my opinion that I think it's fake. Thank you.
Well, I'm about to second you on that because of what I'm about to the clarity of the operation and what I saw.
Absolutely.
Right. So, like Will and Jada and a whole bunch of these celebrities that be showing to the world who they invest in when it comes to their mental health. Mm-hmm. Okay, like some of the Jim Quicks out here, Mel Robbins, okay, Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Lisa Nichols, all these beautiful people that are teaching others how they can live, right? Giving more options and solutions. Now, Will and Jada and a lot of other celebrities have shown us into the world who they invest in. Right. I don't want to believe that their investment has gone in vain. Right. Like, they're literally sitting at Jim Quick's table, learning from him, right, on how to better your brain, and then you go on the Oscars and you make a decision. You choose to smack someone.
I thought it was
like,
the Academy.
That's ridiculous. Come on, that's ridiculous. At
it doesn't make sense.
You have a certain level of awareness and
emotional intelligence
and
all your healing processes that you went through as well.
Yeah. At some point, guys. Like, at some point, like you're making a conscious decision. You're not even offended at some points. Not to say or belittle Will Smith's emotions and stuff. Not. But I just really, that would be really a shame to have all judgment. That. Well, it's not a judgment. It's just like, why invest to learn and not implement?
Right.
Why
invest in yourself so much? And you know that you're in front of somebody. Yeah. Well, how would you make that take such a
like you were
risk?
That moved or offended? No,
and you already know how he is as a comedian. That's the thing. You already know how comedians are. Period. And you know they're gonna take. Will's a comedian. So that's what made me be like, nah, this can't even, this, Hollywood is also playing Hollywood. That's just, again, my opinion.
Absolutely.
You know? And then we're going to dive right in. Like, we're going to dive right in to the other topic that this is leading into. And it's just the fact that everything that we see out here is make-believe, yo. It's make-believe, yo.
It's
make
believe.
We got so many people out here. Again, it's no judgment. It's just observation, just watching. You got people sitting at restaurants, not even talking to each other in their phones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You've got people out here on vacation snapping a bunch of pictures, right? Drake said it best, and then posting them later like you're doing it, but you suffering at home.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You're suffering in silence. You're not reaching out or seeking community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you get wrapped up and caught up into all the worldly images, you know, like the Will Smith and Chris Rock. Like like I said, we're talking about it, but it's just from a different perspective.
Yeah,
but regardless,
exactly.
they got exactly what they wanted out of it, which was people to have conversations about it at the end of the day.
Looking them up, researching.
Yes.
Of course, if they have any new movies, any products, anything at all that's generating revenue right now, their sales are going up because of the intention. You know what I mean? Like, they literally got people on them right now because of this incident. And then on top of that, I commend Will.
Yeah.
Because if I were Will and I wanted to get out of the fucking, programming of Hollywood and get off of the Oscars, because he stepped down from it. He had but you had to have a reason to do that.
Yeah.
So if this is all staged and that was his intention, kudos to you.
Kudos to him.
Because who cares what
out.
anybody thinks? You and Chris got an understanding. You know what I mean? Who cares? But for us to really sit here and believe that it could only be one way, that's kind of just like, no. Right. There's so many different ways it could have went. But we wanted to just bring that up to start because it just leads into what Jay just said. And it's like, a lot of people are living out of alignment. Like a lot of y'all are living and telling a lie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is how I know. So we had our grand opening, which was amazing, right?
Yeah.
Had this beautiful older lady come in, and she was so kind. Like, she wasn't even invited to the grand opening. She just
popped through. She just
saw the sign and was like, her and her husband just wanted to come in. And they came in. And because of their spirit and just who they were as people, they came in, mingled with everyone. I mean, it was just beautiful. The response for them. And she told me her age, told me her children and everything like that.
Absolutely.
And I feel like you want to say something.
I'm agreeing. You know, I ad-lib.
Okay. And and I told her she was beautiful. Right. Literally, I was just like, ma'am, thank you so much. Like, you are so beautiful. Like, wow. Mm-hmm. And she was like, oh, honey, you don't have to lie to me. And I told her, ma'am, I'm not a liar. Right. I'm not a liar. I don't have to lie to you. You're right. Have to. I don't have to lie to you. And I damn sure don't have to lie to myself. Right. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of people who are still lying. And a lot of people don't even know that they're lying. It's just the story that they tell. And it's just the experience at hand. Like, you're in the story. You're in it. Right. So you're not realizing that the story you tell about yourself is a lie. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a lie. Mm-hmm. And yeah, dude, go ahead and chime in.
So we were out on the balcony. So we always have these in-depth conversations when it comes to, this place, this plane. Mm-hmm. And I just want to also say to people out there as well, this is a disclaimer. I am not religious, nor am I spiritual. Okay. I follow my own path, and my path definitely is a part of the one most high, but I do not follow anything outside of that. Okay. Myself, and I lean into my own understanding. Okay. So I just wanted to let people know that as well. I am respectful for everybody's opinion, what they got to bring to the table. But I've been in several different religious organizations as myself. And yes, all religions do lead to one road or to one God. But who is that God? Does anybody even know that? Who is that God?
Well, the question I would like to know is, do people know God for themselves?
There you go.
Right? Because I'm gonna say this too. My upbringing in religion played a huge role in my connection today. My faith is, and my relationship with Infinite Source is not denying that. Beautiful. And I have religion to think as a catalyst for that cultivation, because I was raised from that dynamic. You know what I mean? However, in my own journey in getting to know God for myself, I found God outside of the church. That's just me. Not to say that you could find, God is everywhere. Everything. And that's the beautiful thing about it. So that when it comes to, your connection, your personal connection to infinite source, you don't need anything outside of you to have that.
That's it.
You already have it. It's your birthright. God is within us. God is within you. So when you look in the mirror, we was talking about this saying how, what was it? It's like if God, people wouldn't be able to identify God if God was standing right in front of them.
Yes, facts.
And it's true.
Facts.
You know?
And I can only speak from experience.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. I feel like when it comes to expressing yourself, right? Your life will literally show the world what you believe in. So if you say you believe in God, which a lot of us do, right? A lot of us say we believe in God, and yet your life's expression doesn't represent that, then what do you really believe in? Because it's not like, it can't be God. It can't be the same God. There can't be the same infinite source creator that is abundant.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And when I say that, I mean like, okay, like you believe in God, right? You believe you're a child of God. You believe you're worthy, but you're not showing up as such. You're not showing up as such, meaning you are not catching your thoughts. You are allowing yourself to stay in places where you don't want to be for long periods of time. Okay, you are not seeking community, drinking water. You are not being mindful of the things that you know to do.
Right.
Okay, I'm not just speaking to anybody, because when you don't have the awareness, you don't have the awareness. You literally don't have the awareness. But when you do have the awareness and you don't implement what you know to be true, then that's when sin is created. That's a self-inflicted negligence. Sin is very real. Okay, a lot of times we sin against our own selves. It's us that we're sinning against.
Yeah, and that's just an acronym that, you know, we both come up with. Yeah, we came up with that one. Ago. So yeah, because the confliction that I had with the whole thing.
Yeah, with the whole, you know, with the whole thing. You want to go into that? Like, what do you want to share? Your conflict when, you know, during that time?
Man, like there's so much going on. During that time you and I were together, it was our first visit to my father's house, and we were heavy in our meditation and in the morning, and you know how we get together and we have these conversations, and then boom, the download comes, and I was like, sin, and I was like, self-inflicted negligence. That's what it felt like to me when you're sinning against yourself, not what the book explains it to be. But I can tell a story as far as how my life and me being me, who I am, and liking the same sex, that's what, you know, got me to really moving in the direction of finding who God is for real.
Right.
Because
the
to
church
me,
condemned you.
I got condemned. From
the church and from the Bible and from people in church.
Absolutely. So
that's a real thing.
So with that, it was like, there's no way in hell that the God that everybody's saying is this loving God also has these attributes of jealousy and all these other things. It doesn't make sense. It's putting man's emotions on an infinite source. It didn't make sense. So yes, I had to step out of that and find my own path. Again, not saying that religion for me did not get me to all of them are beautiful. I learned and picked up the truth from each one of those. I picked up the truth from each one for me, and then I walk with that in my heart.
Yeah, and you know what? We invite everybody to do the same. It's important that we question things. It's our birthright. So, like, if something is not making sense, it's your birthright to question that and find out for yourself what it is or what it means. People, oftentimes, we separate everything. You know what I mean? We separate everything, and it's like, there's no separation. There's no separation. Everything, like you said, all the religions, it's the same. It's the same thing, spoken in different languages to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Kind of the system of religion is the system. It's a system. Right. You know what I mean? But saying all of this just to bring the awareness that you have an option to question everything. Okay? You should be questioning everything. And you don't need anything outside of yourself to have a full and abundant relationship with infinite source, God. Right. Okay? So we encourage you to find God for yourself outside of a box. Like, really. And you will find God everywhere. Especially in darkness. For real. In darkness, you will.
And let's think about contradictions. So think of it as, you know, if something is saying something and then it's a contradiction. So we're in this belief system that is completely contradictory. So the behavior outside of that belief system, the mannerisms and the people that are under that act sometimes, all the time in a conflicting way.
Oh, well, all the time.
all the time in a conflicting way.
All the time. It's the programming, it's the conditioning.
So how is it that, let's get into linear thinking and what all of that is inside of the box. What and then we'll touch on some other things. But linear thinking is this spectrum's idea of how things should be ran. And there's 3 important things within that system that makes it real for this matrix, for this box that people live in. So one of them is our 5 senses. All right. So our 5 senses, it's the tangible things that we see, feel, touch, smell, etc. Okay. The next thing is it consensual? Okay. If Coney sees it and I see it, then okay, then obviously it's real. Right. And the last one was measurable. It has to be. If it's not measurable, anything in this box that's not measurable, everything outside of that box, including the way I think, the way Coney thinks, and the way a lot of the outside of the box people think, we get looked at and ridiculed like something's wrong. So when we stay inside of this box for too long, it begins to make us go crazy because all those contradictions are in there. Okay. It says I'm moving in this direction, but then all of a sudden the contradiction comes and then you go and move in the other direction.
And y'all, to bring it more tangible, what she's saying, this is what self-sabotage looks like. Okay, you have these periods of like inspiration and movement, right, and energy available for expression and creation, and then the moment you start to move in these ways, you're immediately met by ego and self-sabotage with the lies and the limiting beliefs of you're not worthy, you don't know enough, who are you to be doing this, nobody's gonna believe you, you're, da 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 da, right? And that's the contradiction that religion supports. To be honest, religion supports it because of what it teaches people, everyone. So that's why this is another reason why it's super important to find and cultivate your experience with Infinite Source for yourself, because again, there's a lot of contradiction and lies in systems. The religion is not the only system that this pertains to. It's a lot of different systems out here that work for a lot of different people, but there is. It's just up to them. Again, that's why we bring up the fact that community is very important. So when it's coming to the point of you moving through something, we actually really want to be there for you. We want to hold your hand. We want to assist you. And then when you've got the tools and your tool belt is equipped, when you are out there and you are faced with these challenges, you have everything that you need. That's why it's also just important to surround yourself with people, community, period. We have been so amazingly blessed by some of the most amazing people. Since we've opened up in our space, we've been holding space for people like every single day, and it's awesome. And the community aspect is real. Like, people are having conversations with us that they haven't been able to have with their own husband. People are crying for the first time in years. Okay, like that's huge. That is huge. And so talk therapy, like talking to people, especially people that you can trust and feel safe around. Usually you have to invest in this, right? Because it's oftentimes not in your circle of influence. For some people it is, but however way you can get it, talk therapy is really, really, really important. And it's a beautiful tool. I want to go into a different tangent slightly, talking about the nervous system and how like your body responds in ways that are old. Like, is this like the way that our bodies respond to things?
Let's get into it then.
Is usually not what's actually happening. Okay, so I'm gonna put myself in a hot seat.
Oh, we finna go there. I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, where'd you
earlier today? I don't know.
I'm talking about my last recent experience with my nervous system.
Facts.
Just as an example, because it's recent. It happened yesterday. And so y'all, we're gonna tie it all together, okay? Got y'all. So Kimora was expressing pain, like in her body, and she's very conscious, and so she is aware of when she's having a growth spurt. Okay, she can feel it. And so this particular day, which was yesterday, she was expressing that, but to a point where it's just like, okay, I'm a mama bear. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of my baby. I'm gonna give her a session on her legs. I'm gonna help her out, and I'm gonna set some intentions. Okay. So I incorporated a few of our tools that we use to move density in my body work session with Kimora. And immediately after doing that, she was relieved, 1, but 2, I was very dense. Like, I felt like I needed to go lay down. I laid down, And then I had this wave or I guess I can call it a wave of
call it
irritability, maybe?
A wave?
Or like attitude-y, or just like I can't put my finger on it because it wasn't mine. I was just aware that my nervous system was responding in a way that I actually wasn't feeling, like mentally, like, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing at all for me to have an attitude. There's nothing at all wrong. Like,
you straight had an attitude.
I get adequate amount of sleep. You know what I mean? Like everything is good. And so, however, I am aware enough to know, okay, my nervous system is responding in a way, meaning I'm giving off stank vibes, y'all.
Straight stank.
I'm giving off stank ass vibes. Okay?
Smell like boo-boo.
Like
terrible.
Yes. And so I verbalized that to Jade. Right. And I let her know, like, hey, this is exactly what took place. This is how I'm feeling now. I'm moving through it. I don't really know what's going on. But this is what it is. And I'm speaking in the terms of my nervous system. I'm able to separate how my body is responding to my mental status, like how I actually am. Right. And I feel like that point right there is very important for people to know how to do. And this is a new thing. This is not something we've been taught. This is called self-awareness. Okay, this is what it means to become self-aware, to be able to acknowledge how your body is responding or reacting in the moment, and to be able to separate that movement from how you really are feeling. Because a lot of times what your body expresses is not actually what's going on. Like there was no reason for me to have an attitude, yet my body was giving off attitude vibes. You know what I mean? And so it wasn't that I had an attitude. It was just that the density that I was moving came from my house full of lower vibrations. Irritability, confusion, pain, things like that. And so when you have density and lower vibrations, that's what those things are, right? So my body expressed that. We had a conversation. It led all the way up until this morning. You know, we still talked about it because it's a process. I'm moving through it. I tried something new. It was highly effective, highly potent, but it took me out, right? And I was able to have.
It took you all the way out.
It took me all the way out.
Mentally, everything.
It did not take me all the way out mentally, child, because we still had clients. I was still able to hold space for them. So don't even trip. But y'all, I did have, my nervous system was really feeling some type of way. Like I was identifying it as tired. Like I was saying that I'm tired, but I'm not sleepy. You see what I'm saying? And so it wasn't that I was tired. It was just that I was moving density, like the lower vibrations, and I felt heavy. So fast forward, the rest of the evening continued and it was fine. And then this morning we were having a conversation, and come to find out, it was just that we had watched Savon. Shout out to Savon. And he gave us some information, and I felt it then as we were watching the information and integrating with what he was telling us, because it was in alignment with what we were going on and what we're experiencing. I felt the expansion or the energy then. And I remember taking deep breaths and just telling myself, like, this is expansion. Like, this is nothing other than that. And felt good, felt great. And then the next thing that happened was I worked on Kimura. And then the very next thing was I was feeling dense and giving off attitude vibes. You know what I mean? So I'm saying all of this to tell you guys that your nervous system responds in ways, okay, that may not necessarily be what's going on right now. So if you are in a situation or even just by yourself and you feel like you got an attitude, it's important that you observe yourself. Like, did anything happen for you to have an attitude? Did anything take place for you to feel depressed? Is anything going on that's contributing to the anxiety? Like, these are the types of questions that you guys have access to, that you can ask yourselves in the moment, okay? Because when we don't ask the question and we don't lean into it and we don't acknowledge it, guess what? We're going to continue to express as such without even knowing that this is not what's going on, and creating more of chaos and just more pain and just unnecessary stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to go down that road because that's where I am right now, moving within my own body and dealing with density, because it happens.
Absolutely. Did you want me to give my side of the story, or?
You can, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You can give your side, but see, there is no side because I'm moving through something, and if you're emotionally intelligent, then you're not moved at all. It's just you holding space or giving space. But please do share your
No, I was
side.
just feeling it. I'm feeling the air up because I felt like it was going to be a silence, and I felt there was going to be a little bit of a pin drop. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that up with a story. All right.
I mean, this is also your platform. Please do talk.
Yeah. So on the other side of that, for me to also practice that emotional intelligence, I had to look outside of my, like, what was going on with me, which I was happy-go-lucky regardless. I was, taking down shelves and all this other stuff. So when I noticed basically there was a shift and change in her mood, I immediately went into I'm going to create space mode. Right. So when I immediately went into create space mode, how I create space is just to allow whatever is happening to do its thing and stay far away without getting into the crossfire. So moving through all of that to fast forward, the understanding from that came when you needed to know why. Like why I was moving and why you felt as if I was separating myself, and I was like, nothing's going on with me.
Well, let me put a pin in that real quick. So her expression is cold sometimes when it comes to creating space and giving distance from her own, experience of growing up in that. And so my old part of myself wanted to identify her giving space as something that I had experienced in the past that isn't now, which is like, is something wrong with you? Like you quiet, you being cold, like you got an attitude, like why you not talking to me?
And I'm just like,
I'm
giving
the move for me.
space.
I'm feeling lighter whenever I got a little smile on my face. You still being stank. Like what's good? Like you gotta now something wrong with you. Like now, because at first it was just me, but now it's you. That's what Connie was wanting to she was wanting to create from that aspect. And Coney was like, no, sis, this is not what it is now. Like y'all are master communicators. Like she don't have no attitude. She's giving you space right now because you giving off stank vibes, stank energy. But in the moment, you was being a little cold, and I just couldn't understand why. But you wasn't being cold in the moment. You actually was just giving space, which I understand that now. And obviously it worked because we good. You know what I mean? Like we're great. But y'all, it came to me. This was something else that came out of this, right? And that whole entire movement of me giving off stank energy and Jade also like creating space. This is where I realized like, hey, this is something that still existed that I didn't know existed in me, which was that, you identifying giving me space as like you got an attitude or you cold or you just ignoring me. Like that's not what it is. And I needed that to happen so that I could be convinced in my conscious mind that, hey, this is not what it was. Like this is not what this is. This is something totally different. This is actually what you have became, which is a communicator. So you know when to give space, you know when to speak, you know all these things. And so that was very profound because a part of me I didn't realize still was holding on to that from my past, had nothing to do with you. And what I'm talking about is that expression or that dance of being a catalyst, doing something or just having something to say, and then the other party being quiet and silent and like gaslighting and doing all these other, things that don't feel good.
Right.
Yeah. So that was it for me. But yeah. And here it is again, pin drop. So it's like you got silent, like you staring at me like, what happened? What's going on in your mind?
I just be getting sucked in sometimes, and I just be like, yep. And then like I totally just get like in it.
I know, right?
And then I'm like,
yeah, it's okay. What I love
let me drink some more water.
What I love about what we do is that we be going through our stuff real time. And every time we show up on this show, y'all, we literally speak from where we are moving through. Like we're not speaking from like 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. Like the things that we bring to the table are the things that we are actually moving through. And the reason why we are this vulnerable is so that you guys can know that it's okay to be vulnerable. Like it's okay to talk. It's actually healthy. It's appropriate. Especially if you're in a relationship. Like if you're doing life with someone, these types of conversations are mandatory, okay? For the longevity of your relationship with this person. Like she needs to be able to see all of my expressions. I need to be able to see all of her expressions. We continuously are learning each other individually, together, collectively. Like it's an ongoing process. And so it's no shame in my game, honey.
So like how would you handle it then? Like if you are in a relationship and you have a talker and then you don't have then there's a non-talker. Like, how do you handle that?
I was in that relationship, and I'm gonna tell you how I
you handle that.
I left. Like, it didn't work. Like, it didn't work for me. It didn't work. Both parties have to choose to be better. Both parties have to choose to communicate. Both parties have to choose to forgive. You know what I mean? So I was in a relationship where I was a talker, and I was in a relationship with somebody who did not talk. The relationship didn't work. That was it. Didn't work. And it's honestly like pulling teeth. It's honestly like pulling teeth, because like I said, both parties have to consent. If one person is not on board with something, it's going to be hard.
Right.
It's going to be hard.
Were you moving through like what was your feelings like when you had no communication? Like, how did you feel? Like, did you release that to your
I had my family. Like, I really leaned on my sisters, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really leaned on my sisters during that time, and when I say leaned, I mean like girl talk all the time, all day, every day, with different girlfriends the few that I could depend on, that I could trust with, what I was going through.
Was it a bunch of clowning or was some good advice?
It was both.
Oh, okay.
Whole bunch of talking shit,
right?
Whole bunch of clowning, and whole bunch of tears, whole bunch of great advice. My sisters held me down. You know what? I'm gonna, shout out to Minnie. Okay, shout out to Charmaine. She held me down, the most during that time when I was in a relationship with someone who didn't talk. She was the main person that I talked to the most during that time when I think about it. So yeah, like I really leaned on my sisters, Brittany, all the Britneys. Okay, I got 3 of sisters named Britneys. My girls, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I moved through it.
Wow.
What about you?
What?
Have you ever been in a relationship where, you was the talker and you had someone who wasn't really open to talking, or?
Absolutely.
And what was that like?
I would always set up round table discussions.
Girl,
that's what I would try to do. Yes, round table talk. Before there was red table talk, I had round table talks in the house. Okay. So I would always want to have everybody at the table so that there's no misinformation going on anywhere. Now, did I always get that gathering at the table? No. It was always like, it's like, oh, we're going to talk. And then when we would get to the table, nothing would be said. So I would be the one doing all the talking, which is what I do not like to do, because I like to listen and analyze. Just saying. And then that way we can come up with some appropriate solutions. But that's literally what it was. It is difficult to be in a relationship with somebody that you cannot talk to.
I'm telling you.
Communication is definitely key for the longevity of relationships, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, phone just died.
Right.
Okay. Yes, it is. I agree.
So, crew, meaning the phone just died. Oh, I got my phone, or I got my watch. I keep forgetting like that. When you get used to the digital, the analog. I got the analog. Phones died. I didn't bring my phone with me, so there's no clocks. But I brought the analog. Yes, but I bought the analog. Yeah, hey, I don't even know.
Y'all said that last time. We was still
in it. We was still heavy in it.
Yes. But communication is key. I'm gonna say this. I really do enjoy the communication that you and I have in particular. Because even though we've chosen to do life together, we have conversations from different aspects. Like we are sometimes each other's sisters. Sometimes we are each other's mothers, brothers, fathers.
We're all of it, really.
We're everything for each other. And that feels really, really good. Because like yesterday you said something really profound too. You was like, I'm holding space for you in a way that I know you need. Like, you may not understand it right now, but
I know
this is a soul connection. Like, I feel in alignment by holding space for you in this way. And you was right, because that way worked. Like, the space that you held, I wasn't offended, y'all, too. Like, even me just observing myself and even observing Connie, which is still me, okay?
We give our alter egos other names.
We do. We acknowledge all of self.
All of it. Yeah.
But even in my observation of self, I was still able to, even in my questioning, I was still not offended. I was still not like hurt. My feelings wasn't hurt or anything. It was just more of a,
because the intention is not to hurt your feelings.
Right.
Right.
And that's what Connie was wanting to identify was not. It wasn't that, and I could see that. Like, it was clear that it wasn't that. Because the evening was still wonderful. You know what I mean? And that's another thing, guys. I want to say this too. We literally have boundaries in place for each other, right? So although we allow each other to express, in all ways, we still have boundaries and we have respect. So So with that being said, the boundaries look like we're not going to bed angry.
Right.
Like we're not going to bed angry. We're not going to bed feeling no type of way. We're going to talk it out. Right. And if we're having a moment to where we can't talk it out in the moment, like our bodies, our nervous system does not have the capacity to talk, we will literally be like, okay, we're going to have a good night. I love you. Hug it up, kiss it up. We're going to revisit this in the morning. Mm-hmm. And I mean in the morning. As soon as we wake up, we're going to address it. We're not going to let the day go past with our nervous system, our bodies feeling this
all
way.
crazy. I mean, like you said, jerking around, you know,
being all sharp and just moving all
moving
hard and
shit
stuff.
off
Like,
the
girl,
table.
what's wrong with you?
Nothing.
Right. Right.
Nothing. But your nervous system really is saying other things, though.
Yo, like take one from us. If you need to pull that nervous system card, please do. Please blame it on the nervous system.
Because you already know what it is. You be like, what is
system.
wrong with you? And then a lot of times there might not be nothing wrong.
It's nothing wrong.
It's just the nervous system is like.
It's the trapped emotions
like,
caught
what
up
the
in your
hell?
body that
Right.
you don't know exist.
Right.
Okay? You have thousands of emotions in your body that you don't know
Right,
exist.
right.
That's a fact. Okay? And if you don't believe me, do your research.
Look it up.
Look it up.
You
like, real
scaredy
talk.
cat. Look it up.
Look it up.
You're afraid to dive into those damn emotions, aren't ya?
Yeah, it's facts. Everybody gets
Everybody runs away from it, bitch.
Every
I don't
time.
want to go there. Yes.
Every time we
There's
bring
no holy
up
water.
she having a ball because it's true. Every time we bring up, muscle testing, the emotion code, trapped emotions,
People like, I
really
ain't
be
got
like,
no trapped emotions.
"Bro, I'm good. Ain't
I'm
nothing wrong with me.
good.
Like, I'm fine. I'm straight." Everybody always
I don't
hesitate
need to
and
deal with
want
it.
to clutch their pearls and just be like, they resist it. And it's like,
All it is like, it's just like the wanting you to be free. Just
Yeah,
be
man.
free from all the bullshit, free from all the things that you are holding on to that are creating the ruckus in your reality right now.
Right.
Okay.
yeah, because when you think about it, the things that you and I have moved through, like just like unworthiness, and for me personally, being afraid to speak. That sounds ridiculous, right?
It sounds ridiculous.
It sounds ridiculous, but for many years I told you.
The faucet's been turned on. You can't get you to be quiet.
Jade, when we first was courting each other in the beginning,
Yes.
she asked me to pray.
I sure did.
And I looked at her like she was crazy. Like, I don't do that. I don't pray out loud. I don't pray in front of people.
I was like, in my mind, like the way you run
No.
that mouth. Yes, you do.
No, I don't. I do
in
not.
a good way.
And y'all, and she didn't make me. I made the choice to pray out loud.
Absolutely.
Then because I also felt and knew deep down that I could do it, and that I have a voice, and that I actually thrive in this.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all, when I said I prayed, that was the first time I prayed out loud in front of somebody else. And when I say I prayed,
I clutched my pearls on that. I was like, what? Wait, what?
I prayed. I took us all the way back to church.
You did.
I did. We
It was
in
lovely.
tears. We was in the spirit. Like, it was so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And from that day forward, I never stopped praying out loud.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I never stopped doing it. I do it every single day in the house. I do it with my clients. I do it in my containers.
We actually did it for the first time today before our
in a meeting. We did it in the meeting for the first time
It was
today. y'all.
wonderful.
Oh my God.
Giving
When
gratitude.
when I say like, yo, the energy was literally high vibrational because we commanded it. We have the option, y'all, to command the energy and how we want to feel. So like, if you're in a meeting like we was in the meeting, we set it out, we laid it out in front of the queen. We was like, you know what, we're gonna give honor.
We sure are.
We want to show gratitude for what's about to be created today. And sure enough, we did. And the meeting was phenomenal.
Yeah, it went wonderful.
It was phenomenal, y'all. Like, I'm still vibrating high off the meeting. Mm-hmm. So that's something new that, like, I like that. Like, I love that. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna keep doing that. That works for me. I'm gonna go ahead and keep
Come
doing
out
that
high
one.
vibrational. That's really good. It's just
Yeah.
energizing the thing, and then it actually just creates a time for the client to relax. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
I think we were going into
We can go wherever we want to go.
commanding the energy. With words, like words carry vibrations.
They do.
And so speaking a lot of times is very powerful. A lot of people underestimate the power of speech. You know what I mean? Be joking around talking about I'm broke. And it's like,
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Like, you really feel like you're broke, and you are really, because you believe that, you're
You're
making
being shown
manifest
that.
experiences to where you can say you're broke. That's the truth. That's what happens. That's what manifestation is. People think that you only manifest sometimes, or you only, only certain things you manifest, certain things you just was a victim. It happened to you. No. No, we make manifest via our own contribution, via our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotions, and our actions. And so, your speech and your vocabulary, the things that you say are very important. You are literally putting a vibration out into the world, in the universe, when you speak. So if you continuously support things like I am broken, all these lower vibrational things that, you may have been once before, but if you continue to speak that in that way from that point, then that's what you will continuously be shown. Your nervous system will always respond in a way that says, I'm broke.
Right.
But you can change that. That's what we wanted to tell you guys. You can actually change that. You have options. You can let go of the old storyline. Okay? Matter of fact, I want y'all to tell your story in front of somebody else. Matter of fact, come to the space and tell us your story. If you're ready for transformation, I challenge anybody to come to our space, Sound Mind and Body Wellness, okay? 6860 66th Street North, Pinellas Park. Come through, tell us your story, and the rest will happen from there.
That is facts. So I was just going to give like a scenario, say, for instance, like you're saying you're broke, right? Say, you're holding on to that and those things are prevalent in your life. And then all of a sudden some silver lining comes into the cloud and you're like, you know what? I'm going to go to the car dealership because I feel like going to cop a BMW right now. Right? So you get there, you cop the BMW, you got it. And guess what? As soon as you pull off the parking lot, the damn run flats that run $400 a tire, it pops. Guess what? The money that you thought that you needed or that you were going to use to go on a vacation, you got to take that out and put it into your car. That's that broke energy. Okay,
I see what you was going there.
That's that broke energy. Of course, you're looking at me like that because that's always like that.
You said broke and then you said BMW, and I'm like, okay, that'd be the contradiction right there. Is that what you were trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's what I did say. Yes.
I got you, and that's absolutely facts. Like, that's how it happens. That's how the energy be moving. It's like you be thinking, having thoughts, having beliefs about being broke, but then you go and get a.
That's why that silver lining is it's like, oh yes, I'm gonna go pick me up a car, but forgetting that you have the mentality, or you already created the mentality of you're broke. You still got a great car, but you got to fix it all the time.
Damn,
because that's where your money goes. Because you're broke.
Damn, that's how it be.
Because you're broke. Like,
that's how it be. That's how it be. And honestly, when I identify myself as broke all the time, and I would joke about it, it was all over the place. My vocabulary in broke. Okay, I was spending money. It was the smallest, mundane, most annoying thing. It was like, oh, it's a tire. Oh, it's something wrong with my car. It was always something wrong with my car that, I always have to spend the thing
money. That you need the most to get around. It's always that thing. I need a car to get around.
Girl, when I say it felt like every 2 weeks it was something new. It was unbelievable. It was honestly unbelievable. But when I evolved my vocabulary
and mindset,
and I got rid of my mindset, and I got rid of that broke term, I no longer identify with it. I promise you guys, that's when the car that I got, it was BB. No, nothing. All car troubles gone. Y'all, let me tell you this. The last thing that I think I went through with my car, this shit blew me. It took me out completely. Y'all, it was infected by roaches. Remember? And that was unexplainable. That was unexplainable, you guys. Like having to bomb the car. It's like, how did this happen? We park under a carport. You know what I mean?
Like the conclusion we came up with was like, oh, as an Uber driver was carrying groceries.
It had to have been. But see, it doesn't matter how it happened. The fact that it happened, which was for me an insinuation that, again, broken energy, because I was still moving through a lot even during then. I was still moving through a hell of a lot mentally, when it came to being broken. So that was the last big thing with the car. And after we got that taken care of, because it was a short episode. It was weird though. And once we got that, once my mindset shifted, y'all, seriously, no more problems at all with the car. None. So yeah, that was just an example of how that energy be moving when you use it. Broke is broke. Like whether it's financial or broken pieces, or your mental is broken, your spirit is broken. Broke is broke energy. It's gonna come across as broken.
Yeah, that's just what it is. It's just like changing, involving your vocabulary and your mindset to put you in a position to where, the things that we do is out of the box anyway. It's so crazy. Like nobody's ready for the ride.
It's awesome.
Nobody's ready for the ride. They think we're fucking crazy. Excuse my language.
I'm ready for the ride. The ride.
They think we're crazy.
The right AD's like, hey,
My bad.
Watch your
I
mouth.
didn't mean to say that, but then again, I did mean to say it. Because so many people, think that we're being in this position. That's like when you have certain titles, like Kurt Franklin. Let's bring him up real quick. Like he's been in the church for such a long time. I just cracked up at that moment. And shout out to Kurt Franklin. It was funny. I know it was old news, but I was like, "Yo, did y'all see that? That's a lot of pressure.
Hell out. Okay?
That's a lot of pressure. Y'all know y'all be behind the scene cursing.
Stop.
So it's almost
they
like
put Kirk on a pedestal, forgetting that Kirk is human.
Like and human.
I don't want to be put on a pedestal, y'all. I still curse. Like I'm still a human. Okay.
It's like because you're behind a system or behind certain things, like you have to act and be a certain way. You're gonna be looked at,
God,
and then it come out. Then it came out. Like
it came all the way out.
It came all the way out
for the world to see, and it was good.
Them trapped emotions.
Them trapped emotions.
Them trapped emotions.
Right.
You've been wanting to cuss, but it just came out. Yo, that's how I go. Like that's how I go. Everybody walking around like big old squares and shit. Like squarey and.
Y'all, she just moving. She moving in this space of true liberation, and it's so fun and beautiful to watch her express because she has not always been this expressive. To be honest, like even when
it's taken Queen Coney aback because she's like, "Yo, like you've never did this before," and I could see her face looking at me like, "Where is this coming from?"
Yes,
that's what she's looking at me like. Where is all of this coming from? Yes, I got a fire under my ass. I sure the hell do. I always do. Today is just a fiery day.
You feeling extra spicy.
I'm feeling extra spiky. Hence again, the bucket hat and the dashiki. Yeah.
Oh my
and the
God.
Adidas pants.
That's funny because
with yellow shoes.
In the beginning, you used to be like, I'm conservative, and I'm like, okay. And now it's like, wow, you looking real liberal,
girl. Releasing all them trapped emotions. Let's go ahead and back to that. People be like, yo, if you tell me one more thing about a trapped emotion, I'm turning it off. Turn it off then. Turn it off then. It's on repeat. We're going to mention it every show because it is liberating. When you just, it's almost like you walking around like a feeling deflector or something. You know what I'm saying? A feeling deflector. Like people that throws their shit at you. It's like deflect, slide off. It doesn't even bother me no more.
That's how you feel?
That's how I feel.
That's awesome.
That's how I feel. People can be people. You are still going to be unconditionally loved by me because I understand. And it's not that I have pity on you. Sometimes it's just a journey that you decided to take. And that's what it is. You have a purpose as well. So, no offense.
At all. And this is how we can look at ourselves, one, and the world. Like we can understand the fact that trapped emotions exist. Okay, your nervous system carries things that you don't know that's there, and that your it's not the person's fault. It's never the person's fault. The emotions, the feelings had already been there. The person is just contributing or the trigger to bring the emotion up. Okay, but the person though, think about it, y'all. Come on, like you've been feeling some type of way before this person came in the picture. This just hasn't been addressed, right? It's just you're triggered by experience. It's a different experience, but it's the same trigger. Okay? It may even be by a different person, but it's the same trigger. It's just the things that you haven't yet acknowledged. Like, I'm telling you, the moment that you become aware, right? This is the awareness piece right here. The awareness that, oh, wow, there's a thing called trapped emotions. There's a thing called a nervous system that holds on to things. Let me do my research. That's the awareness piece right there. Mm-hmm. Okay? Then the acknowledgement piece is your contribution in your story, your hand in it. Right? Like, what are you doing to add to the story? Because there's many parts to a story. So if you could tell a story that you are a victim in, okay, cool. What was your part in that story?
You still got to tell your part.
What was your part? And the reason why we want you to see your part is not so that you can feel like you wasn't a victim. No, it's just so that you can see where your power actually lies. Boom. Because you can't make changes from nowhere but your hand.
Facts.
So if your contribution is a part of a story, and you can change your contribution, guess what? You're going to change the story for you. All right. And then
take that, rewind it back.
Okay. And then the observation. Okay. This is the AAOC, y'all. You got the awareness, you got the acknowledgement. Then this is the observation. You observe yourself from a higher view with emotional intelligence, meaning third person, right? You take the emotions out of it and kind of just look at all the facts, all the hard facts. You know what I mean? Okay. So when I was hearing you give me feedback about how I was expressing. Yes, I wasn't offended, but I was making faces, right? Like my eyebrows were squinching up. It's like my body still had to hear it. You know what I mean? Like you got to get used to hearing about yourself. All right, like this is a part of the process. It's not gonna feel the best in the beginning, but I promise you it gets better, and it gets better quickly.
It really does.
So you observe all the facts, all the surrounding factors, and then you make a choice to do something different that's gonna be in alignment and that supports how you actually want to feel.
Period.
It is so simple, family. It
so really simple. Is. Like, it is so simple.
It is. And we're so passionate the way that we are because we are living this life real time. We are really experiencing liberation in so many aspects. Like, to be able to have a disagreement or a debate, and then to still in 2 minutes be able to hug and love and cuddle and go right back to where we was.
It really wasn't a debate though.
I'm just speaking in general? Babe. I'm giving them
examples. The whole thing.
Okay. Babe, it's okay. You on fire today. I'm just giving the people general examples. But it is true though. Whenever you have a debate, a tiff, anything, to be able to go through that density with your partner and then to turn around and it's all love, that's the goal right there. And to come out better too as beings. Like, you're a better Jade, you know how to better hold space for me. I'm a better Coney. I know how to better express when I'm going through density, like, you know what I mean, and vice versa. This is what happens when you communicate and you put effort.
It does. And to like all you people pleasers out there, okay, let me tell you something. Don't be afraid to say no. Okay, don't be afraid to actually say what it is that you want
what did we learn
to
about
say.
People pleasing is a form of what? Fear. People pleasing is a form of fear.
People pleasing is a form of fear. So that means fear to be rejected and, all these other things. No.
Tons of fears.
No. Let me tell you. The moment you just say and speak what is on your mind from a place of unconditional love, watch your tone, take a couple of breaths, and then have the conversation, you're going to feel so much better.
Yeah. To follow that up,
I don't even know what I did. You said to follow that up, so attention went this way.
I saw your eyes go, like... To follow that up, I was going to say, treating yourself how you want others to treat you is going to help you out in that.
Ooh.
Like, because if you want to be spoken to in a certain way, speak to that person that way.
That's
right.
Facts.
Like, if you want to receive honor and respect and dignity when it comes to, having these tough conversations, you need to also be giving that energy to yourself first and then to the other person. Okay. That's what I wanted to just follow that up with that.
Yeah.
That's a tool.
It is. It's straight facts though. But it is very liberating when you're able just to say, and it's just as simple as somebody asking you, like, could you run to the store for me? And then your first initial thought was no. It was no. But then what did you do?
You went to the store.
All right, okay. And then now you feeling some type of way.
Now you got an attitude.
Now you got an attitude.
Stank energy.
Because you didn't want to do it in the first place.
Yeah.
All you had to do was say no.
Right.
And then the repercussions from that would have just been like, all right then. That's really what it would have been.
But even if it was something like, even if you got some kickback, right, some attitude, your nervous system would still feel better than what it had been if you said yes. That's the thing. So even if you get a little pushback from that no, you're doing yourself a due diligence because you're not doing something that you don't want to do. That's going to then create a whole nother conversation that is unnecessary.
Y'all, and it is so simple as just that. Just saying no. Like, I don't feel like going to the store. Like, I don't feel like doing this or that. And like, you probably be like, you lit it up. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the naysaying after that. Don't worry about none of that. No.
But again, if it do come, because
it's
gonna come, you did yourself a due diligence, like, and be the bigger person to have the conversation. If you feel like explaining yourself on why that is a no, you don't have to necessarily, but we give each other explanations. That's because we're partners in life. Like,
right.
Come on, like,
that's true.
Like, I want to give you an explanation. Like, I want you to know where I'm coming from, and y'all should want that for each other and yourselves. Like, want to understand the other person before, or instead of getting offended. Okay.
You never know.
Instead of feeling offended, people be like not wanting to admit that they're offended. Feeling some type of way. That's a more general term. Feelings, instead of feeling some type of way,
right,
and moving from that place, want and desire to understand the person.
That's right.
You gotta want it though.
You gotta want it.
You gotta want that, because it's not easy.
Yeah, because when you
without that choice, to want to
the
do
thing
it.
is like when you get in a relationship with other people, there's different backgrounds and things where you come from. You don't always, and then there's the communication piece. Somebody may not have been communicating in your house, but they communicate in your house.
Yeah.
And again, there's all these feelings. It's like, why ain't you ain't talking to me? But it's just like if you sit down and understand each other's story and know that the non-communication has nothing to do with you per se. It just has to do with how the upbringing or how that person communicates. Now, once you get down to that and be like, oh, okay, so you're not acting out. This is just what it is. Oh,
yeah. For example, I came from a home of affection, like physical touch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like hugging, kissing, snuggles. Till this day, if you come around my family, that's all you're gonna see is affection. And Jade, you grew up the polar opposite. It was completely the opposite. No affection at all. Completely cold. No conversations like that, you know? So when we got together, of course, she's expressing in the way that she was cultivated in, and I'm expressing in the way that I was cultivated
Mind
in.
you, it was not that bad because before that, child, no.
What,
me meeting you.
Oh yeah,
it was already polished.
Oh girl, please, we already right, exactly as it should have been.
Right,
like,
you can do that all you want because we already had that conversation. We said if we had met each other when we was there, we wouldn't have made it. Okay,
because you would have worked.
So don't be doing it. And you would have definitely did mine.
Need my last nerve. Like you would have worked my last nerve.
It would have been bleach on the clothes all the time. Every weekend. I'm pouring bleach on your clothes and putting sugar in your tank. You're not going nowhere.
It would have been feisty like that too.
Yeah. I might set some things on fire. I'm just playing, y'all. I'm not, shout out to Left Eye, God rest her soul. I'm not burning out nobody's house. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it. But I already know, I think it's about that time. I think we're wrapping up. Is it? The phone died and everything. So I don't even have, we don't have anything. So I'm going to go off the dome with it too. And I don't care if I miss anything. So here we go. Is it time? Right? Oh, okay. Well,
not bad. All right. Okay, y'all. So that's a wrap or whatever, you know.
Y'all already know what it is. Right. Okay, there's 4 ways to listen.
Okay, let's see do it.
One of them is download that app on the Google Play and the App Store. Apple, right? You
got it. Keep
the
going.
next one is visit powerplugradio.com.
All right.
And then you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, okay?
Come on, let's go.
Hit that bell. And the last thing, because y'all Negroes don't be calling in, but you should. Okay? 727-686-0512.
Okay, as always.
Begin the day with love.
End the day with love.
End the day with love. Wholeness.
You're listening to Power Plug Radio. Home of your throwback jams.
Pardon my language, but hang-ups do not define the kid. No, I'm not flawless, I'm scarred up and I'm fine with it. My body are the laundry list of all of life's unkindnesses, but I still sip tea and chant om and live free, cause hardships and heartbreaks turn to rap epiphanies. And mom told me stay woke, cause all gold ain't glistening. Choose your words wisely, cause the all-knowing's listening. But no worries, I'm Gucci, my thighs are little juicy, my dialogue little awkward, my idols still move me. My life is a movie, like Raheem and Mookie. I'm just trying to do the right thing, hope that it improves me. My bamboozle costume to me, you'll be soon accustomed to me. This tomorrow, I got royal hemoglobin coursing through me, and my strength is now inhuman. I get that straight from my omi, signed in silver mouth the grill of yours and truly.
You better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you are.
I ain't get here overnight. I was in that mirror like 4 or 5 times a week on my Malibis, reciting affirmations like holy rites, and I still don't know everything. But I guess confessions from 8 by 11s and studio sessions seem like it's only right. And trust me, this my therapy. Yo,